So welcome to season 4, episode 12. 78th if you're counting, since we started this thing. Episode 78. So let's move right into chapter 23, Beyond the Stone. We got the Aiel spears and the buckler. That's our chapter symbol. So I'm guessing that's what we're learning about Aiel.
I was beyond stone once. That time I accidentally ate that cookie. And I was, just gone. Right? I need to jump to a chapter where the Aiel start spilling the beans on what their prophecies actually are. Because even Rand asked about it and Work was like, well, I can't tell you. Because then, maybe you just go and do it because I told you. I'll know it when I see it. Mm-hmm. And if you do it, I'll know you're he. And if you don't do it, then we move on and keep looking.
Yeah.
So maybe Rand's not the one that does it. Matt's going to come out having effed everything up, and they're going to look at their notepads and be like, well, damn, out, Matt did it.
Yeah, because technically when he comes out, he'll have the right to be a chieftain.
So, but what do you think about Matt's approach to this?
I laughed out loud. I don't know about you.
But the fact that he made it through and they eventually let it through, and the last lady who answers, her response is what... This is the part where I got to thinking that, wait a minute, maybe Matt is the one, not Rand, in this case. The last person, what'd she say? Was it Sienna?
Sienna.
Sienna shook her head. Much is changing, Melaine. The old ways. If he is the one... Oh, and this is what Bear says. If he is the one, the time of change is upon us.
Aviana runs down towards Meridian.
She's like, I'm sure I can beat those men or boys.
Yeah. Because they already Matt and Rand already left, and like I can beat them there.
But that shows you like the difference in the girls that are taken to the tower and the women that are chosen to be a part of this group.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are steeled. They are maidens of the spear. They are.
Yeah, and they're also, it's a lot harsher climate. I mean, everything about them is, they're just hardened people. Like, they're just very, it's city folk versus country folk. I mean, if you grew up in the city and you go out and meet with country strong people that are country strong, it's a whole different thing than city strong. Like,
yeah.
But then Melaine also slips up when she's going through all this as well. She's like, and if you don't go to the rings, and she's like, oh, like... And she realizes that she spoke too soon, and like they all look at her like, "You're not supposed to know where we saw where she didn't ask first." So didn't know what your thoughts thought. Like,
fates.
Yeah, did we just screw everything up? Like, what are you guys' thoughts?
I don't know. It's kind of like in the Matrix when she tells him, "Don't worry about breaking whatever." And then he turns and knocks it over, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And she's like, "Oh, what's really gonna with your head is, would you have done it if I said something?" So maybe this is, and we also know. Well, I believe, there's been so many iterations of this where, I win again, lose there, and like the good guy supposedly keeps losing. If this is gonna be the one where he wins, everything about this has to be different. So maybe it's a good thing that they're like, no, in every single situation we saw, like, she had to be the one to ask. So maybe it's good that it's slightly different,
Yeah.
Could be. I agree.
So, have you ever been in like that thick of fog? Like where it's...
You can't see in front of you at all?
So
Nothing?
Sailing in thick fog is the most eerie, scary thing in the entire world. Just because, like,
you to sail when there's thick fog.
No, you can't see the front of your boat. So you usually have to send. No, you still sail. You just have to send someone up there and try to peer through the fog and see what's going there. We were sailing down Chesapeake Bay one time, and the fog was so thick we couldn't even see the front of their boat at the bow. And we had a guy up there, and like literally out of the fog, a fishing vessel, a shrimp vessel, like with their nets out. Like came out of the fog out of nowhere. This giant fishing boat just like came like out of we almost hit them, and like literally we're screaming like turn the boat as fast as possible. Like we didn't even we almost ran right into them. Like,
see, that's a fear. And then sitting under the Avendosaurus tree, Matt was like, huh, I'm at peace. I feel good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That gigantic marijuana plant.
Yeah.
Right? They could pull a little Siddhartha moment and sit underneath the tree by the river for ages and ages and reach. Was it he reaches nirvana when he realizes that the river is always changing but always the same?
Always changing but always the same. Yep.
Yeah. That was one of the moments.
Exactly. So, Chris, you were saying about the most dangerous one was to be free of the Aes Sedai.
Yes, like that. First and foremost, will he ever get the dagger back? Because I said a while back, I think he's going to get the dagger back. That may be the way the holes in his mind are filled. Maybe he gets out and the box is there with the dagger. Which means, who's going to help him capture this thing inside of himself when he loses himself again? Like, will he ever be allowed to be around Egwene and Nynaeve and all of them again? Like, there's too many things up in the air when making that comment.
Yeah. That's all I got for this week. So, anything for you guys?
Until next time.
Peace.